I mean, if I can like fix my hair how I want it. Don't judge me. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start it, okay? So, if you guys are joining me, this is my first YouTube video, and I'm kind of nervous because it's a really long story, and everybody wants to know what happened with X on the beach and all the bullshit that happened, and I'm here to explain it all. I never want to speak about this subject and me dating this awful human being ever again. I don't want to talk about it ever again, and I just have a lot of things to get off my chest. The real reason why we broke up. I have my receipts. I have everything. So I'm going to get into the real reason why me and Chad broke up. We dated on X on the beach, and I want to do a little bit of background of X on the beach. I did not know who anybody was when I entered the house. I knew a little bit about Jose because Jose had filmed the challenge. I had already previously met Angela before she even came up on the beach. Obviously, everybody knows who Farrah is. But like, I didn't know anybody else besides those people. Oh, and Corey. I knew Corey before the show. But I had no memory, I'm sorry. I had no like idea who Chad was before we got on the show. And I grew genuine love for this man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I feel like it showed on camera, the love that I had for him and the love he had for me. It was just a very odd relationship, but I'm a very weird person and so is he, so it kind of all worked out in our favor. And with me and him dating, like, it was good. Like, I was really, really happy. And once we left the X on the beach house and I was actually able to come back into the house and be like, listen, I want to be with you, I want this to work, and he said the same thing, I was like, damn, like, I'm leaving here, booed the fuck up. I came on a dating show and I had no boyfriend. Now I'm leaving with a man. So like, I was happy. And so getting into the nitty gritty of leaving the X on the beach house. So I stayed the weekend out in LA with him. We hotel hopped. He bought hotel for one day. I bought another hotel for another day. Cause you know, I'm not the type of girl who wants to have a guy pay for everything. I have my own money too. You know what I mean? This goes back and forth. And we spent our time out in LA. It was a good time. We talked about like the future plans. You know, he'd have to come visit me in Florida. I'd have to come out there to LA. We'd do this whole back and forth thing. He doesn't have a real job, meaning like he doesn't have a boss to answer to. And I basically could do whatever the fuck I want when it came to my job. So I can travel to see you whenever. And so I'm like, I'm gonna make this work if you wanna make this work. And he wanted to make it work. And so we had a really good weekend. Let's fast forward to when I went and visited him the first time. I went to LA and visited him from, I think it was a Thursday to Wednesday. And everything was good for like the first day or two. And then we ended up going out that weekend. We went out that weekend with Jay, and then Jay's friend Adam, like his Survivor friends. You know, Jay's awesome. Like, who doesn't want to fucking hang out with Jay? Jay's cool as fuck. So we went out with Jay. We had a really good time. And this is where I started realizing that there was issues. And that night he embellished a little too much. And by embellish a little too much, I mean he was blatantly hitting on a girl in front of me. And the girl was looking at me like, that's your girlfriend right there. Like, what are you doing? And I literally walked the fuck away. I can't remember where we were at. We were somewhere in West Hollywood. I walked away and I think I was outside by the chapel or something. I don't even know where I was at. I ended up calling Maya and I was like, I was on the phone crying to her and I was like, this is some bullshit. I'm out here in LA. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I might need to stay with you because I don't know what is going on. You know what I mean? Like, you're hitting on a girl, you're slurring your words, you're drunk as fuck, you could barely stand, and this is what's going on. And so I ended up going back to the club. He's outside, slumped over, mind you, waiting for an Uber, and I'm like, Jay, I don't even know how to get back to his place. He's not even saying words. At this point, he wasn't saying words. So with that, I was like, what the fuck do I do? And Jay's like, fuck it, I'll just bring you guys back to my place. So we get in the Uber, we head back to his place. In the midst of him being outside and him getting in the Uber and then us getting back to Jay's place, Chad loses his phone. We end up sleeping at Jay's place, and as embarrassing as this is, he ends up pissing all over Jay's toilet floor and not picking it up because he was so trashed. I cried to Jay that night. I was like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, it's different to go out and get drunk and have fun, but when people are having to physically take care of you and you're not making out words, it's not fun anymore. So I just didn't know what to do. The next morning we woke up, we got in an Uber back to his place. Now we could finally figure out where the fuck he lives because he's coherent now. He's like, I don't have my phone, blah, 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 blah. We ended up going back to his place and going back to bed because we barely slept. And then he ended up getting a new phone the next day. And it's all backed up and everything. And one day he ends up, while I was out there, ordering like Uber Eats or something. So he's ordering food, and in the midst of him scrolling through his apps before he orders food, this is where another red flag happened. And I see that he has Hinge on his phone. Hinge is a dating app, and I also see that there's Bumble on his phone. So I'm like, what the fuck? No, bitch. Now we have a fucking problem. I made him sit there and open up his app, delete his profile, and delete the app, as any girlfriend would. And I also made him do the same with his Bumble. And this Bumble account comes into play later on in the story. So he deletes his profile and deletes the app. So you should have nothing now. Any dating apps in your fucking phone. So that's kind of water under the bridge. I kind of let it go. I'm like, whatever. He's like, I just wanted to check out the app. Like, bitch, no you don't. Like, you're out here in LA talking to other bitches. That's what you're doing. And I'm your girlfriend living in Florida looking like a dumbass. So I felt kind of stupid, but I let it go because, you know, I'm there visiting him. I'm not trying to sit here and ruin basically my vacation time with you. And then everything started kicking off the moment that I left. So I left LA, I come back to Florida. I'm still grinding out, working 5-6 nights a week, busting my ass. And what ends up happening is he tells me that he no longer wants to like drink and do all the stuff that he's been doing, right? One of the nights that he went out without me and him were still together. He had wrote me, he said, my night was going well until I learned about last night. I said, what do you mean? So he went out the night before. He said, I hung out with Murray and it was amazing and I Ubered home free. The party was ending, or so I thought. I was curious why I was wearing this long draping robe thing though. Turns out I got sick somehow after we all took a million shots and took my shirt off at some point. But I don't want you to think less of me, but I confide in you. I'm like, what fully happened? ... Then he said, I just got sick apparently on his couch and he had the maids come anyways today, so I guess it's not a huge deal, but I feel like a fucking idiot. It's not like I did dude on dude stuff, babe, LOL. Just feel dumb for my actions. I said, I don't believe you did dude on dude stuff, but like, I thought you weren't going to get like this again. He says, I mean, it was for like 10 minutes. I guess after the part had ended, I guess he meant party. After the party had ended, I also was drinking before in anticipation of staying home. And then Murray said to come to his bar, and I knew I had a 1 to 3 hour lifespan before dying. Have a glass of water and chicken, then gone to bed, and it all would have been fine. So basically, when I had already went back to Florida, he's out continuing to party like he promised he wouldn't do anymore when I was there. And it was just like, I guess, like a shitty feeling to know that, like, anytime your man goes out and parties with his friends, you don't really know how he's gonna act. And he would literally, I call it dying, like when you just drink so much that you're basically out of commission. And that's just how he was. And while me and Chad were together, so this is between the time before he even comes and visits me, before everything pops off, he basically was just talking about X on the beach and all the stuff that's been going on with that. And in this screenshot, he says, you liked all the tea that I spilled. I said, I was cracking up. That was funny as fuck. And I'm assuming we're talking about something that has happened with X on the beach. He's like, LOL, yeah, 1,000% true too. We should make up some straight bullshit about someone and start spreading it for fun. LOL. And then I write back, but then when you're saying something that is true, no one will believe you. And then he says, LOL, we will make this true. Make up a rumor for fun. LOL, see if it works. And then he just wrote me, okay, good night, because I guess, like, that was the end of the conversation. But these are the conversations that he would have with me. He would think that it's funny to lie about people, make up rumors about people, and as you can see in my response, no one's gonna believe you. If you cry fucking wolf, no one's gonna believe shit that you fucking say. So that's just another red fucking flag. I just want to get more into when he came and visited me. So Chad comes and visits me, and before he comes and visits me, when he's doing all this drinking with Murray and going out with other people and doing the things that he's been doing, he had 1 month of him changing things up and doing things to his body so he can work out better, take fat burners. He's doing this, he's doing that, because he has like these, I don't know, what the fuck was it? He had, sorry for saying the F word a lot, but he was working out a lot because he was trying to sell these fitness plans. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're working out so much and you're being weird and funny because you're on all these things. And for a whole month, he barely spoke to me. And I mean, like, I'd get 2 or 3 text messages a day, maybe a phone call if I was lucky. If I would hit him up in the morning, he'd barely hit me back until a couple hours later. But you're active all over social media, which makes absolutely no sense. So everything's gonna kick off right fucking here. And with that whole month span, I just felt different. You know, I didn't feel the way that I felt on X on the Beach. I wasn't in love with the same man anymore. You portrayed yourself to be something that you weren't in real life, and I saw through it, basically. And it just was not perfect. So when he came to visit me, I was not the nicest. And I just told him, I was like, listen, this just isn't working anymore. We're barely speaking. Like, I just don't see this working out. And what was going through my mind and in my head was that he just wasn't the guy that I fell in love with anymore. He wasn't there. Everything he told me on X on the Beach wasn't transpiring into real life. And a lot of things were very inconsistent with the things that he had said. He owns all these businesses, they're successful, but he has to do certain things to pay for his living. Like, you're pulling out credit cards to pay for a publicist. Like, the things that he was saying wasn't adding up to what he had told me in the house. And as long as you're able to take care of yourself, that is fine. And he wasn't. So I felt some type of way about it. I told him I no longer wanted to be together, and he ended up going to stay in a hotel. I went out, partied with my friends, because I'm not going to stay home. Yes, he's in my city, but I'm not going to stay home. Why? And I was doing me. I was like, you know what? I spent months with this man, and he's out here like making me feel like a fool. Like, I felt dumb because now you want to come and visit me and you're not who you said you were. Like, I just felt fooled by like everything. And then I ended up letting him come back and staying with me for like I think it was maybe a day. So I went to go pick him up, and in the midst of me picking him up, that's when I get screenshots of his Bumble account. And I'm like, no, the fuck. This did not just fucking happen again. Like, I get screenshots from my best friend. Anybody who knows me, they know Sally, my best friend. Sally screenshots me. It makes me so mad every time I fucking think about this. But I pick him up and I just can't hold my tongue back because, you know, I literally just got these screenshots. And God, it pisses me off every time I think about it. He's sitting in the car and I'm like, I can't even hold it back. And I'm like, you really are out here begging for me back while you're stuck in the hotel visiting me. Yes, I broke up with you. We're not together. But how are you going to be begging for me back, but you're on Bumble? And he's like, Bumble? He was confused until I showed him the screenshots. I said, my best friend sat here and is showing me your stupid ass account. Like, I have pictures. I said, pull it up right fucking now. Like, I was freaking out. So what does he do? He pulls out his phone, pulls up the account. I said, now open up your messages. And I know he didn't want to open up his damn messages. Like, I'm over it. I need to see who he's talking to, how many girls he's been talking to, what's been going on. You're not going to come to my city to visit me. Whether I break up with you or don't break up with you, it does not matter. You're trying to get back with me. Why are you on dating apps? And he opens it up, and there's like a couple conversations, I think like 2 or 3 conversations. He's like, see, I barely spoke to them. It doesn't matter if you barely spoke to them. You had me out here looking like a fucking fool where I live. That's not gonna happen. Like, ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. Like, that's the most disrespectful thing I think anybody can ever do. Okay, if you wanted to go talk to somebody in the lobby, go do that. But you're not gonna make me look like a fool on the internet. Like, we haven't even gone public with our relationship. We haven't even broken up. We haven't nothing, like, publicly I'm talking about. And I was just, like, in disbelief. So we ended up coming back to my place, and I'm mad at him. He's not speaking. He literally sits in my living room for, like, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. I'm literally in my room just like fucking off doing whatever I've been doing in my room. And I scream out to him. I'm just like, so are we gonna talk about this or what? And he's like, what do you want to talk about? Like, he's like, what do you want to talk about? And then me and him just go back and forth, and we just start arguing about the whole Bumble situation. I'm like, you deleted your apps. I'm like, how dare you disrespect me? How are you sitting here saying you want to be back with me, you love me, you this, you that, but then you're out there doing that? Like, it makes no sense. None of it makes sense. And like, it was just a lot of BS. And he ended up calling me out of my name. He called me a bitch, a cunt. I don't even remember what else. And then he was like, you're just a fucking asshole. I come all the way out to Florida for you to treat me like shit. So I'm treating him like shit. Now he's flipping it. He's a victim. Blah, blah, blah. So then I just tell him, like, grab your shit and get the fuck out. Just get out of my place. I don't want you here no more. So then I tried pushing his shit out. He's like, don't touch my stuff. So then he takes his stuff. He leaves. And all that shit happened. And then, like, time and time later, there's actually a screenshot of a conversation that not only was Chad trying to hurt me, but he also was trying to hurt Nate as well. And in that screenshot is of a conversation between Chad and Nate's ex-fiance. And Chad just wanted to reach out just to, like, for whatever, because he's a fucking idiot. It's like, hey, what are you doing tonight?
Wait, well, nothing. She said, oh yeah, I'm going out tonight. How about you?
She writes, hey, going out in Tampa. How about you? He's like, damn, I missed your message. How'd your night go? Don't go on the reunion saying that you could have had sex with people when that was your whole real conversation. So now he's pissed Nate off. Me and him are broken up. We are not together. We had to do an Xfinity event in Miami, and I also went and filmed a music video with Jose. So I go and film a music video with Jose the moment I landed in Miami. He's also in Miami. He's like, I want you to hang out with me. I want to hang out with you. I want to, like, talk with you and spend time with you. I want to work things out. And I'm like, no, there's nothing to work out. I'm with Jose right now. We have the Xfinity event to do, and I'm going to work the event, and that's it. So the event comes and goes, but I'm still hanging around. We all ended up hanging out. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. We all ended up going to dinner. It was a group of us. Jose, Angela, myself, Chad, 2 of Jose's friends that are in Miami, and I think that was it. Corey was out there as well. We ended up meeting up with him. So dinner comes and goes. We went and saw, like, a drag show. It was fun. Then we go to some other bar, and we're all just chit-chatting, all hanging out. And then we decided to go to some other hotel where other people were at. Corey was at. We ended up meeting up with Corey there, and that's where this other screenshot comes into play. This was the day after the Xfinity event. I'm not going to get into detail of what happened after we all went to the hotel, because this screenshot says it for itself. He wrote, hope you're having a good night. I said, hope you are having a good night as well. He's like, nah, I'm hurting. Thinking about you. Sucks, man. I'm going to move on, though. I said, you aren't hurting. I bet you're on Bumble already. And he's like, I don't know how you just moved on and never even showed the slightest bit of emotion about us. It's nuts. You barely talked to me after the Xfinity event, too. That's when we went to dinner, went to the hotel, blah, blah, blah. I wrote him, I said, you got drunk and did coke and was acting crazy. He's like, how was I acting crazy? And I'm sure I was, but never mind. I wouldn't have drank that much if you talked to me. Never mind, I'm out, good night. I'm like, sorry you don't like the truth. I'm like, and he's like, I'm gonna let you go now. Sorry, I said K. And then it ends up going into another conversation of me and him having just drama. But that's kind of a summary as to why Chad and I had broken up. We broke up because he was busy doing other things, not putting me as a priority as being his girlfriend, and not treating me the way that I felt I deserved to be treated when, like, in that whole month that he ignored me, because he felt like he was going to ignore me for work business purposes, and it ended up not working out in his favor. And me and him will never get back together. I know my worth. If I would have known this is how he is in real life and he didn't perceive to be something else on X on the Beach, this would have never happened. This has nothing to do with Maddie. This has nothing to do with Nate. And this just really all has to do with the way that Chad is. This is how it is dating Chad Johnson. Like, he's not what he likes to cook himself up to be. And that's the shitty thing. I fell in love with somebody who wasn't who they said they were, and I had to figure it out for myself. And I'm sorry for anybody who felt like me and him should be together, that we're perfect. I tried everything. And like I said, I'm not an angel. I was very mean to him when he came to visit me. And I was mean and I was upset because he hurt my feelings. And I felt like I was duped to be dating somebody that wasn't who they said they were, and who continues to disrespect girls behind their backs. So, like, I wasn't gonna stand for it. So, sorry I'm not one of your dumb little blondes, but don't ever go toe-to-toe with me and think that I will not end you verbally or in general. This is the truth. I have all the proof for it, and thank you guys for at least sitting here and listening, and hopefully this isn't a super long video, but it is what it is. Reality TV is not ideal for dating, if anybody wants to know. So, I love you all. Thank you. This is my first little video. And you know what? Thank you to Jonathan, who's going to help edit this video. You are absolutely amazing. And I couldn't have done it with all you guys. Like, I want to continue doing videos on YouTube, and I will. What it's like dating Chad Johnson. Boom. Bye!